everyone. Welcome back for another episode of Adams for the Love of Movie Picks. First of all, folks, I just want to apologize for last week there. It was Family Day weekend, long weekend. I decided to take a break, but here we are back this week with another episode. So this time around, we're going to be talking about the 2025 film, The Smashing Machine, starring Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson and Emily Blunt. So this is based on the true life story of mixed martial arts champion and former UFC champion Mark Kerr, as played by Dwayne Johnson. Emily Blunt plays his love interest Dawn Staples. Former UFC fighter Ryan Bader plays former UFC fighter Mark Coleman. I think that is pretty much the extent of the well-known actors in this one. Just having a quick look here. Yeah, it's pretty much it. But even the lesser-known people that have played the various fighters and people throughout the movie, they do a pretty good job as well. So this movie here, like I said, it's about the real life story of former UFC Vale Tudo fighter and Pride champion Mark Kerr, and his personal struggles that he went through to come out clean and the man he is today on the other side, and how he kind of shaped the mixed martial arts landscape back then as we know it today. Most of this movie takes place between 1997 and 2000. He fought from, I think it said it was 97 to 2009 was what the years that his MMA career spanned. It focuses, I guess this is the really pivotal point in his life. I feel that, moreover than anything, you can feel the emotion and the power behind the story, but that Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson's performance as Mark Kerr is quite something. Dwayne Johnson, in my opinion, is more known for his action roles than anything. He has played other roles, but this one, it does have an action feel because he's a fighter, but it's more about the personal side of Mark Kerr that he's trying to get you to connect with than anything else. And I think he does a very good job with that. He even goes so far as they have him in prosthetics to make him look more like Mark Kerr, which I think is kind of, taking an extra step that you really haven't seen from Dwayne Johnson before. I think Emily Blunt does a phenomenal job as love interest Dawn Staples, portraying the complicated dynamics of their relationship throughout its course. I was a little surprised I read after the fact that you find out that they were, they separated, excuse me, for good in, I think it said 2015, 2010 or 2015. I forget what it said. But, sometimes you just gotta part ways for what's best. The other thing that I really like about this movie is that, it showcases in good detail sometimes, the early days of UFC and Pride, and how it wasn't as mainstream back then, and these guys were literally fighting for a living, and also how some of the rules were so much different back then. Headbutting was legal. You could knee your opponent in the head while he's down on the ground. That was legal. Kicks to the face while they're down, that was legal. And then it slowly started to change, and you see that throughout the course of this movie. But yeah, like I said, what really drew me into this movie, besides the story behind it, was the performances of Dwayne Johnson and Emily Blunt as the main title characters. Really, really extraordinary and well done job. It says in the back, Dwayne Johnson is a revelation, Emily Blunt is sensational. I would agree with that. The one thing I forgot to mention at the beginning is I can most relate this movie, to The Wrestler, starring Mickey Rourke. Who he was a wrestler in the 80s. Was dealing with being addicted to steroids, and tried to get himself clean in order to continue his wrestling career. The only difference is that was a fictional story versus this is based on real life. But still, very similar storyline. So if you were a fan of the wrestler, I think you'll really enjoy the Smashing Machine. I'll be honest about one thing, folks. I expected it to be, I don't know, a little more than it was. I don't know. Like, I'll give you an example of a fighting movie that really emotionally draws you in. Not that this one doesn't emotionally draw you in, but I mean, like, really seriously draws you in. And, like, makes you hang on every moment of the movie kind of thing is The Fighter. The fictional story of the two brothers who end up fighting in the same tournament for various different reasons. This one here, it's just, I don't know, it just at times seemed a little drawn out. But that being said, I mean, I will be honest, it does take I wouldn't say half the movie, but a little bit to get going. But then once it gets going, the story really evolves and it really draws you in. So I still recommend checking out The Smashing Machine. I'm just saying, folks, lower your expectations a little bit from what you may have seen or what you may have heard. Beyond from me, I'm just saying from anybody else. Just so you don't set yourself up to fail. All right there, folks? That's all we have for you this week. And as always, if you enjoy my videos, click the thumbs up, leave a like down below. As always, feel free to leave a comment down below in the comment section. And if you really enjoy my channel, please subscribe, okay? I greatly appreciate it. You take care of yourselves, folks, and we'll see you next week for another episode.
And now, folks, it's time to say goodnight. We sincerely appreciate your patronage and hope we've succeeded in bringing you an enjoyable evening of entertainment. Please drive home carefully and come back again soon. Good night.
A small correction there, folks. I just realized it wasn't The Fighter was the movie I was thinking of. It was Warrior with Joel Edgerton and Tom Hardy. So I just wanted to make that correction. All right, folks?